then you're in the right place. I'm actually waiting for no, I'm actually collaborating with the MSA lead. That's Clint. You get to know him very soon. He's also a former GDSC lead as well. He was lead when we're both in part 2 in the same stream. So yeah, that guy's got a lot of experience. You have so much to learn from him. He's been lead for DSC 2 years back, and he's now the current lead for Microsoft Student Ambassadors. He's the one who actually started it here at HIT. So massive experience from that guy. He's traveled to I think 3 or 4 countries, or three or four times because of these clubs. He's received so much exposure, so much, learned so much, so many connections, and it'll be good to hear from him. He's got something in store for you guys. So MSA and DSC are like the 2 tech communities that are at your disposal here at HIT. So instead of presenting them to you as 2 separate clubs, we just want them to be like one tech community, right? You don't necessarily have to start choosing which tech community to go with right now. I mean, people have their preferences, right? But the beauty about it is, if we present them to you in this way, that way you're not pressured to choose like at the very beginning stages of your development careers, because you might find that you love or enjoy working with Microsoft tools or Microsoft technologies more than Google technologies. So I think it's good for you guys to like be introduced to these clubs and in this way. I know I might be hosting you on Google Meet for Microsoft Student Ambassadors. You also be joining on Teams, etc. So there's oh, I see Clint has joined us. Is right there. Clint, good to have you, man. Yes. Oh, is it? Sorry, man. I think it's because of where I'm sitting, and I'm really struggling for internet here. So let me just try to move. Thanks, Tadio. Okay. So I think at 11:15 I can start presenting, and then we'll just share the link to the video if people want to find out how the session went, and especially for those who were not able to join us today. Before I start, am I audible now? Can you hear me better? Okay, so I might just have to move closer to my mic there. Alright, so welcome guys to our orientation session, an introduction to Google Student Developer Clubs, or DSC. It is also in collaboration with our sister club, Microsoft Student Ambassadors, that's MSA, who will also be sharing and just showing us what MSA is about and what's at our disposal in that regard as well. So without further ado, I just have a couple of questions I would like to just ask. You don't have to answer them right now, so very rhetorical. So if you find that you answer most these 3 questions with a yes or more than half of them. No, I think someone just unmuted their mic there. Okay, so if you answer these questions with a yes or more than half of them, as I was saying, you might actually find out that DSC is the place you want to be. So if you're interested in any technology or any software development, or if you're a techie, if you're a geek or you're a tech wizard, I don't know what people call you out there, but I've been called a lot of that in the past. If that's what you love or passionate about, DSC might be the place for you. If you love being part of a community that is bigger than themselves, if you love being part of the group or a movement that aims to improve the lives of people, the livelihoods of people, if you want to be part of a community that is aimed at enriching and enhancing the lives of others that are around them through the use of technology, DSC is also a place you really enjoy or you want to be part of. And if you're inspired by Google technologies, I know most of you guys have used Google Chrome, Google Meet. There are a lot of Google technologies out there. If you're a developer, there's Flutter, um, Kotlin, etc. Android development, working with websites, you name it. If you love all that technology, if you're interested in it, then DSC is a place you might actually learn more about it. And trust me, you won't get some of what you learn here in class. I'm speaking from experience. This club has actually helped me a lot when it comes to development itself and finding out how I can actually choose which career path I should take when it comes to development. So, what's in the name? I took this from our previous lead, our ex-lead, Clint. He shared about this in his orientation presentation the year before this one, when he was talking about the institutions in general. I know most of you guys are new to institutions and you're new to college. It's a new experience, and I know that under these circumstances, it's a bit different from how we started. And with all this global pandemic going on, and most of you guys you've just only gotten to meet part ones on campus. Different from when we started, we're exposed to everyone. Like everyone was on campus, part ones, part twos, part fours, and even people doing their diplomas. Everyone was on campus, and it might be a different feel to what we had. But then the basis of things and what's at the very bottom of this concept of an institution or a college is what it represents. For instance, I have MIT here, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Most of you might have heard of it or know it or researched on it. I don't know what you know about it, but what I can tell you is it's an amazing institution where they've managed to use technology to its fullest extent as students and as an institution, and they've managed to enrich and enhance the lives of those not only in their community as a college, but also America and the world at large. I mean, there's so many technologies that have come up from MIT itself that have been so beneficial to the world at large. And you find that it is not only technology being used by the software developers, but it's also technology being used by other faculties as well. You have your biomedical students who are also part of maybe some tech clubs and saw some innovation and decided to go for it and collaborate with professional developers and build something whilst they were still in college. So what does the name represent? When we're talking about an institution of technology, we're talking about a place that is an innovation hub, a place that you will find innovation or ideas to start projects. And these projects will not only help your community. You can start small, yes, you can start with just helping your college, but then these projects will actually develop to be bigger than what you might actually think. Also, another interesting institution is India Institute of Technology. I will tell you this: once you start developing and looking at some YouTube tutorials, you get to meet a lot of Indians. They like these guys; they know their stuff. You want a tutorial on how to create arrays or how to sort functions, etc. You find an Indian guy already has done that in every single programming language there is. And I've always admired how they are passionate about technology, and you find that most of the counterfeit tech that comes to our phones, for instance, I'm a user of WhatsApp GB. Yes, don't judge me for it. I do love using it because of what it can offer for me, not any other funny business. But you find that go on YouTube right now. There's someone from India who has made a counterfeit application and has improved it in a certain way to fit your user requirements. So I'm not saying all of these developers come from the Institute of Technology, but I'm just trying to say that at the Institute of Technology in India, they have managed to also develop some pretty interesting technology themselves for their community and India as well. And you find out that just them being in that presence, or anyone else in India being in the presence of that institution, and they are driven to be innovative as well. They are driven to be entrepreneurs as well. That's why I wanted to highlight India there. But most importantly, um, what does HIT stand for? I know it's Harare Institute of Technology, but what do we inspire? What do we bring to the table when it comes to an institution in Zimbabwe? Um, as I've highlighted that some of you guys are still new and you are new to this college experience, what does being at Harare Institute of Technology mean for you? I mean, you could have gone to use it, you could have gone to GZU, you could have gone to MSU, or even outside Zimbabwe. But what about HIT? And what do we stand for as an institution of technology? And one of the most driving factors, or driving key points of HIT that I've managed to adopt myself. HIT is an innovation hub. HIT wants to stand as a place where you can start something very small project, but eventually develop it into something that is huge and something that can impact not only the school, not only Zimbabwe, but impact every or any international market, or the lives of people, or not only in Zimbabwe as well. It wants to stand. It also stands for, sorry, for a place where you can learn everything about technology, as the very best institute out there in Zimbabwe. You find out when you want to apply for, mostly aligned to people doing when the faculty of information technology, when you want to apply for attachment, for instance, like I have done, you find that in most companies they'll actually tell you that they prefer HIT students, and before they even see your CV, they've already seen that name there. They've already seen Harare Institute of Technology as your school, as the school you're currently enrolled at, and that actually shows and carries merit to what HIT stands for and to what HIT um, offers to students, and which is a very great platform to start your development career, a very great platform to learn about technology, a very great platform to learn about how to be entrepreneurs. And you find that in the some of the courses we have here at HIT, they will actually help you. For instance, techno, and not a very popular module there or course there, but you find that in whatever discussions you have in technopreneurship, sorry, it's called techno in short, but it's called technopreneurship. And what you find there, people will learn about how to be entrepreneurs, sorry, in tech spaces, like using technology. And that's what we aim for this club also to endorse, how people can use the skills they acquire here at HIT, and even as part of DSC, into the real world. Because I mean, believe it or not, we are aiming to make it out there. We want to, yes, we want to help the community. Yes, we want to be part of a big movement, but we also want to develop and earn more money with the skills we acquire. So yeah, that's basically it about Harare Institute of Technology. It is a place where you can learn about tech. It's a place where you can develop as an engineer or a software developer, or even if you're not in the faculty of information, uh, even if you're not in the faculty of information technology, there is still so much for you to learn from our Institute of Technology. Hence why this club is there, to build a community of techies, to build a community where you can find like the quickest aid you need. For instance, you're in pharmacy, and you have an idea of how to sell or a new drug, and you want to take advantage of a mobile application or a website. There are people there who can assist you. The developers here with us at HIT, who are able to actually help you through that project, and you realize that it's those sort of projects that end up being huge on the market out there. And moving on, what does Google Developer Student Clubs mean? I mean, what are Google Student Developer Clubs? So just allow me to just go through a script I wrote for a video I was making for GSC. Yep, good. Okay. Uh, Google Developer Student Clubs are student-run university-based community groups. They are open to all undergraduate and graduate students who are interested in software development. And their goal is to provide student developers with a way to grow their knowledge, network with their peers, and build solutions that impact their local businesses and communities. So I just took that definition and that description of DSC from our current program lead. She was talking to us about what Google Developer Student Clubs are and what they represent. And from that, I managed to pick up that since they're universities, they're student-run university-based community groups, these are the sort of clubs you want to be in where you're not pressured by any grown-ups, because there is also a program for for alumni, people who've left university and colleges, and that's Google Developer Clubs. There is a program for that, and DSC is sort of the the smaller version of it, because it's only aimed at a university community. But Google developer groups can actually be based on can be city based or country based, and we do have a Google developer community for Harare. And I hope that in one of the sessions we have in the future, the lead there will also be part of will also come and present to you what it means to be part of that community. But right now, let's talk about DSC and what it means. As I was saying, intern students develop valuable hands-on experience that prepares them for the workforce and distinguishes them from other job seekers when they graduate. I was having a conversation earlier on with Valentine, and he was talking about how his sister managed to get this amazing opportunity to go and work overseas. That's what DSC offers for you. I'm telling you, once you put DSC on your CV, once you put that you're part of this community, probably even if you put it as your community or a committee member or a core team member or even the lead, it opens up so many rooms for you. It opens up so many opportunities for you. You have no idea how many people actually want you to be part of their teams, and not only for leads or not only for leaders, but everyone who's be part of the community, because at the end of the day you are all learning the same things. You're all exposed to the same technology that each and everyone is exposed to. And
Sorry, can they see you?
no, they can't. Oh, you. Let me. Okay, so
Oh,
Clint
just for
joined.
2 seconds. I'm interrupting. I know I'm terrible.
Okay, let me just switch on my camera.
You're scared of sharing your camera? What's wrong with you, man?
No, I'm not.
He's scared of
There
sharing
you
his
go.
camera, people.
So, hi guys, that's me. I'm Tinashe.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Clint. Just got here. Public transport is the worst, but yeah, it happens. Don't worry. I'm about to join in soon too and get my part of the presentation ready. But listen to this guy. He knows what he's saying.
And
I
he's wearing
promise.
his Microsoft Student Ambassador
Oh yeah, I
t-shirt.
forgot to bring you your GSC shirt. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Oh look, popping in, popping out again. Popping in.
Alright.
Okay.
So I usually don't like presenting with my camera on. It's very distracting. So I'm gonna switch that off. Alright, let me just continue. I was talking about DSC and what it means for you in your career. So I was saying you have so many opportunities at your disposal with DSC on your CVs there. And what I would also want to highlight there is what Valentine also mentioned, the possibility to gain funding from venture capitalists through like competitions like hackathons and the most renowned Solution Challenge, which is the biggest competition that Google offers for students to provide technologies or projects and present sorry and present to them on a global stage. So it's a competition for every DSC club on every institution around the world. And let me just highlight that the first DSC club started in India in 2017, but today there are more than 1,200 universities in more than 105 countries. So that's pretty big. And sorry, just a moment. Let me just relocate. if you're a developer, if you're a newbie, or if you have any prior knowledge to development, GDSC is the place for you to be. You get to learn about these technologies firsthand, and some of the information I will share with you, or some of the information I will teach in most of the sessions, comes directly from Google, and it's a work that has been passed down from years and years of experiences from other leads, and you find that you have the best exposure to this technology and these card libs. There are also workshops and other events that we'd like to attend. And speaking into the next thing on my slides, allow me to just skip that. As I was saying, what are we? Google Developer Student Clubs are student-run university-based community groups, and they are open to all undergraduate and graduate students who are interested in software development. And their goal is to provide student developers with a way to grow their knowledge, network with their peers, and build solutions that impact local businesses. So you find that during this upcoming year, I'll be talking more, or I'll be mostly focused on these two things: community and solutions. Yes, I love developing projects and I love to see them complete. So you might find most of my efforts and time will be aligned towards those things. And I also enjoy being part of a community, because that's how you develop, that's how you learn, and that's how you engage other developers. I do not believe in one man shows. Trust me, as a developer you can start off a project alone and finish it, but then where's the joy in that? I believe in having fun, and trust me, we're going to have a lot of fun developing projects together, and hopefully having some sessions where we get to actually engage some partners who can show us some working with robots, robotics, electronic engineering, etc., and how development can be incorporated with projects similar to those. As I was mentioning, community, GSC will give you a platform to be part of something that's huge. So I mentioned the 1,200 universities in over 105 countries, and that also means that we have access, or we're able to network with those people. Um, being the lead of this club, I've had an opportunity to meet some of the Google team. This team is amazing. They've during the past month, I've been going through what's called the onboarding session, and I've been shown everything that is at our exposure as a DSC club, the opportunities that await us, and I would like to also just highlight on those. I mean, we've had our alumni meet the CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai. You've had our alumni go to Microsoft. You've had our alumni work at Google, and I'll get to that point in my presentation later on. And I would just like to just re-emphasize something about the solution challenge. Building a project as part of the DSC community will not only give you a chance to present that project to your peers or to your school. You also be presenting this project to Google on their live demo days. You find that when you present a project on such a huge platform, it exposes you to possible venture capitalists. So this is where you find, if you present a notable project, you actually have calls. You get some engagement from people who want to fund that project on a bigger scale, and that's where you get to seize your opportunities. So HIT itself won't do much, for instance, in catering for like costs for your projects, etc. But when you present something that's notable and something that's worthwhile on a global stage like that, just imagine the possibilities that arise with such an experience. So I would really like to just emphasize that if you decide to join the club, if you decide to stay, and I know there's some parties who also joined, if you're still part of the club, let's take the solution challenge very seriously, because it can offer us a lot of opportunities, can expose us to a lot of opportunities, and really open our doors to a lot more out there. I would like to just highlight that in the past year, I saw with us is Rodney. Rodney, do you want to say hi if you're still with us? Yes, that's Rodney right there. Yeah, he is our former lead. Yeah, he just handed over to me, and in the past year, we were able to reach to make the top 50 shortlist for the solution challenge. So just remember, this is a challenge. Sorry, can you please mute your mic? Okay, great. So this is a challenge that is um, is joined by every single university. It's an open challenge for every single university that has GSC on their campus, and and you can only form a team of 4 people. And just imagine how many people submit their projects to Google. We have more than 1,000 universities, and in those universities, each university providing more than 5 challenges, and having to have one of our teams here at HIT being selected to be part of that shortlist managed to. I'm not sure how to phrase this correctly, but it has boosted our community in a lot of ways. For instance, people are now confident enough to engage more in these challenges. They are now confident enough to see that we can actually win this if we put our minds to this. And why I had called on Rodney there, he's also part of this team that submitted this project and made it to the top 50. And I would really love him to talk more about confidence. And if you can, Rodney, just a minute to just tell everyone about confidence, the project that you submitted for solution challenge. Good. Oh, thank you, Rod. I didn't realize I was muted there. Thank you so much for that. As Rodney was saying, it's an amazing opportunity, an amazing experience to be part of a team that has managed to make it that far, and which is also something that I'm going to be talking about a lot. It's collaboration and teamwork. Yes, you can be a one-man show. You can develop a program by yourself. You can even make it a complete project by yourself. But there is something that is hidden in teamwork and collaboration, which is something that I'm very keen on, and something that I would really love people to be involved in. So projects and solution challenge, pretty huge thing to me, and it should be to you as well. Let's talk about your exposure for a second. Things you'll be exposed to and hit. And I know that from that picture you can see that there's a woman talking about a project that she was working on. I think it's called Mutual. And I'd really like to just highlight that I know that we're in a global pandemic and we might not be able to go to a lot of these events, and But however, we want to make the most out of it, through online and virtual workshops and online sessions. But once everything is settled and probably people are vaccinated and they are able to start moving around, we're going to be we're going to be able to go to attend most of these sessions. Going to get to meet a lot of interesting people, have a lot of workshops, and have a lot of experienced people and professionals talk to us in these sessions, which is something that I'm also planning for the club to be involved in. And what's also important to highlight is Google employees, people who are actually working at Google right now, can also join in on these sessions. There is the Google team, which I've mentioned earlier on, the team that has been taking me through my onboarding session with Karen, Anu Ido, some of the Nigerian leads, and the GDSC program leads at global level. They can also be part of our meetings and sessions, just offering their help and aid in teaching us and empowering us to be better developers and exposing us to all the technology that is available at our disposal. And a picture that's in front of you right now is a Firebase session, I think, and hosted by GDG. In there you find that um, there are a lot of technologies, as I mentioned, that are offered by Google, and Firebase is one of them. And sorry, and in that session they were talking about how you can integrate like your projects with Firebase technologies, and these are sort of some of the sessions that we will have. And having professional aid and having professionals who are experts at this be part of these meetings and teach us and show us how these things actually work. So believe it or not, I'm also still a student. I'm also still learning, and it's why we need this pros or alumni to be part of our sessions as well, just to teach us and be the guys that we need. Um, that is a session. That is a picture from one of our sessions we had with GDG, not DSC, and it was a collaboration. And this was 2 years back. I don't know if you can see me in that picture, but yeah. And in the far left there is Clint, who was also still was lead at that point. This session was just there to was a career guidance session, which are some of the sessions we will have, and we're also able to engage our GDG communities. That's our older siblings, our older brothers and sisters there, who are now working in a lot of or in different companies, and they had so much to offer. They had so much to talk about, and they had so much to teach regarding uh, these clubs and the opportunities that they received from just being part of DSC. And this was a picture of us during that session, and Clint was also presenting in it. And endowment, there you have it. Most of you guys might know him, most of you might not, but right there is Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, and next to him, to his right, is our former lead, Chase, also known as Kudzai Jacinda. Actually, Kudzai Jacinda, also known as Chase. So he had an opportunity to meet Sundar Pichai, the Google CEO, when he was lead 3 years back. No, 4 years back actually. And wow, guys, that is a very huge experience. He got to travel to America for Google's I/O events, and he got a chance to meet the CEO. Not a lot of people can say that. He even has an article written about him by Zoe, and the opportunities and the doors that have been opened for him, that have opened for him after just this meet are extraordinary. And I would really love to have him to be part of our one of the sessions and just talk about his journey in his career to where he is right now. He's currently working for Trivago, which is also amazing. So you see, there's a lot of things that you can accomplish with Google. I'm not sure if I have the image of, oh yeah, that is also still Chase when he was in America for one of Google's events. And before I move on to Clint, I want to talk about someone else I've left behind and who's also working at Google right now. Is a software engineer working on Google campus. and who was also a previous member of DSC's community, and he was also a committee member when Kudzai was, and when Chase was still the lead, and Tawanda he's had the opportunity to start software engineering at Google, and he's actually staying in Canada right now. Another amazing feat there in itself, just being able to get an opportunity to work there, and let alone getting an opportunity to be a software developer at Google, on Google campus. That is pretty amazing. So those are some of the things you get to reap from just being part of this community. But I will tell you, there's a lot of work goes into everything. A lot of work is taken into consideration. Allow me to just check in on Clint there. You good, Clint?
Hey, yeah,
Are you good for MSA?
I think I'll just do the testing on my phone because I'm trying to use my background and it's slow.
Okay, I think you can. You
Okay,
wanna use
sure.
this?
Give me a
Okay.
second because my settings are reset. I don't have a phone with my stats. Cool.
Okay. All right, thank you, Clint. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier in the meeting, if you were not part of this meeting, I was talking about this on orientation session being a joint venture with our sister club, MSA, and I was talking about these clubs being the two tech communities that are at your disposal here at HIT, and want to present them in a way, in a manner that you'll be able to be exposed to all the technologies that are available for you, and not necessarily have you choose or battle yourself, and deciding, do I want to go with Google, do I want to go with MSA, which technology should I use. How about experiencing all of them, and then later on coming to a decision that, you know what, I love Google technologies more, I love MSA technologies more, or I love both of them and still want to continue with with learning both of them, like what I am doing right now, what Clint is also doing right now. It's pretty amazing what tech can do if you really enjoy, or if you're really passionate about it. You enjoy both clubs as much. And let me just wrap up my presentation there. So Clint, I'm sure he's going to, that's Clint right there when he went to Microsoft. I'm sure he's going to talk more about this. But I'm always excited to talk about Clint's journeys, and when since he started college. I mean, I've known this guy since part one, and we've been very close friends. He's introduced me to a lot of tech communities. Actually, me being part of DSC was his influence, and he's been there for most of the times, and in everything we've done together. And he has been like a beacon to most students as well here on campus with the things that he has accomplished. And I would really love that, to have most of you guys also accomplish the same. And when you must be wondering, how is Microsoft and DSC linked in this case? Well, just by putting DSC on his application, he got a chance to go to Microsoft and meet some very, very powerful people, and make some very interesting connections. And this has helped him in his tech career. He's managed to establish MSA here at HIT. Starting a new club is not easy, and having it brought to your campus, and having management from Microsoft engage you to start a club at your university, just because they've seen a lot of potential in you, is pretty amazing feat to me, if you ask me. And that's why I'm excited to actually have him here with us today and to talk about MSA. It's a joint orientation session anyway, so I'm gonna give him some time to just tidy up, and he's gonna come on to present and talk about MSA. So let me talk about him traveling to Microsoft, and what this means for him. As I was talking about earlier on, just putting this on your CV and just having this experience, this exposure on your CV means a lot. It means that you've been not only exposed to development, but you've been able to actually go to these huge companies, network with the people that participate in challenges, and you can see in that picture in the far right, where he's wearing his VR headset, he's had the chance to participate in the challenge, and people were taking photos of him, and an article was written about him. Who knows? And he's been featured in a lot of things, and that exposure alone can give you an edge over people that are only developers. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here is you can be an extraordinary developer. You can be the best developer here on HIT or even in Zimbabwe. But then there are things that you can learn through networking. There are things that you can learn through being part of a community. There are things that, there are soft skills that you need to have in order to stand out from the rest. Um, so yeah, that sort of summarizes my very long presentation, which I was hoping was going to be short. But then I realized I put my foot in my mouth a lot of times. But anyway, I hope to see you soon, and I hope to hear a lot of engagement from you guys. So it's goodbye for now. It's goodbye for now, but very soon. I understand we only have a month of face-to-face time here on campus at HIT. So let's try to maximize that time we have. Let's try to have a lot of sessions, to have a lot of meetups, to have a lot of talks before we get sent home, where we start having network issues, data challenges, and electricity problems. So especially for part ones, I would like to encourage you that be involved with the club as much as you can. I understand that you have a lot you want to do. You have lectures, you want to study, you want to go out. I mean, it's college, right? But also take some time to invest into your future and into your careers as well. Take this time to learn more. Take this time to be part of a community that not only focuses on your skill, but focuses on other things that are bigger than you. So with that said, I am through, and I would like to just thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being part of the session. And Clint, over to you.
Okay. Hey guys, I'll be sharing my screen soon. Just give me about a second. Alright, let's see here. Okay. So hi, I'm Clint. Please let me take off this. Let me take off the mic. I felt it sounded. I don't know what's with the feedback. Okay, I'm sorry about that. We're having a little feedback with my mic for whatever reason, but thank you. Okay. Alright, let's try and settle over this properly. So, as I said, hi, I'm Clint, part 4 computer science student at HIT, and I am in charge of the Microsoft Student Ambassadors community for HIT. You're obviously going to have to start by asking what that is. Well, simple. Microsoft Student Ambassadors, or in short, Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors. Actually, rather, that's the long one. The short name is MSA. MSA is similar to GDSC, but a little different. The main catch is this. Can you guys still hear me? For whatever reason, it seems to. You see here? It's showing that. Why is it? Why can't you hear me? Okay. Alright guys, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, great, cool. For whatever reason, when I switched screens, it had an issue. But let me just try this again. Again, sorry if I haven't used my phone. My computer is having Wi-Fi problems, but hopefully it's enough. I think if we can just operate like this, it's okay. Now, as I said, Microsoft Student Ambassadors is similar to DSC. That's one thing I'm actually just going to say right to start, but definitely it's a mix. You may wonder why there's two programs like this, and the main part that I'll start off with is this. The world has changed a lot. 10 years ago, the best developers could be found in mostly Western countries, to be honest. You had most of your great developers coming from places like MIT, UC Berkeley. A lot of these prestigious, for good reason, usually American or European colleges, which were fostering a specific kind of developer or tech lead. Because let's start off with this. Like GDSC MSA is committed to turning you into the best kind of tech lead. A, B, allowing you to have as many things as possible in the tech industry. Allow us to and yes, but it goes beyond that. Chances are you think everyone works in the tech industry in some kind of either IT guy or software developer. But it's a huge industry. Okay, there are so many career paths, there are so many things you can do. There are so many things you should want to do because it's diverse enough to actually be something that usually has a place for everyone if you really just want to actually go for it. What often happens is that isn't the case. It's challenging sometimes, very bad, but it's definitely one that's A, very rewarding, and B, very, very exciting. So, as I was saying, I'm actually trying out a browser window on the side, and just to build this up so that you guys can see. For the record, I actually had created a similar presentation to Tinashe's, but it wasn't scaling so well on my mobile device, so I had to improvise. But as I was saying, Microsoft Learning Student Ambassadors has been around for about 4 years now. It's existed in various forms. Before this, it was called Microsoft Student Partners. And then it went on to change in Microsoft Student Ambassadors and now Microsoft Learning Student Ambassadors. I'll get into the reason as to why various name changes, because obviously for starters it's a little confusing to say the least. But also, it's easy. If I actually search this, it's come out as Microsoft Student Partners first, and then you can go on to other things. But now, loading up the main website, I'm trying to switch to hopefully it doesn't cut my mind again, because me too, I can find my phone for whatever reason. Let me try to do this. And just let me know. Okay, so great. So again, this is the Microsoft Learning Student Ambassador site. Let me just so become a student ambassador. Be a force for good globally and locally. This is essentially the program's mantra, and that's because it's based very much on a model of empowering students and then allowing those students to empower communities. What we mean by this is simple. I can sort of now serve as a testimony or success story of that, in that I am someone who almost always had a passion for tech and really knew how to go about it or how to make the best out of it. I grew through experience, to be honest, and I was fortunate enough and incredibly experience to meet people who helped me to grow. People like the person Tinashi mentioned, because I just said that. We were friends since high school. He was slightly older and has always been a kind of a bigger brother figure to me. So when we started doing GDSC, the first thing he told me, and I wasn't even learning it, I was in high school taking MBA, and he still told me to get involved somewhere. I started doing it, and afterwards, GDSC got helped me to realize that, so there's actual chances and actual communities and actual clubs from these big tech companies that are made A for African students and B for people who aren't from university. Because it's our field to be working in tech. The first thing I can do is think about like Bill Gates, or think about some big developer, some big boss who's at one of these big tech companies and think, well, I'm not as good as him or as her at whatever she's doing, right? I'm seemingly might think I'm not smart, or might think I'm not as talented, might think I'm not as capable. But these companies always been about accessibility and about being as open as possible. Tonight I was talking about GDSC, taking anyone from a novice, written codes, to someone who's more of an expert, same thing. In fact, Microsoft learns to learn ambassadors. The learn part came from A, Microsoft starting an online platform called, I'll show you very soon. And B, deciding that the larger part of the developer community or the tech community actually needs to learn more than be at the top of the game. In other words, there's a lot of people who are interested in tech, interested in tech, but a lot of things. But what often happens is because they don't know what they should do or how to do it, they tend to do it. This community is all about making sure the one gets it. It's all about making sure everyone, from the guy who has never written a tech who might not even want to be in writing, might be good at parts of IT administration, database management, marketing, because digital marketing has become such a mistake as of late. It's all about making sure all those people get to learn as much as possible and get to jump in as much as possible and grow their careers. So, scrolling down a bit, you can see the first thing is apply. That's because you could apply to be a Ambassador. Unfortunately, they submitted one first schooler, like the GDSC position. But there is a 10 minutes, and my 10 minutes semester for each. And that means maybe one of you guys are different. And I'm honestly totally fine with something halfway through part one. I was just halfway through part one as well when I started to take leadership positions in GDSC. And I was only beginning part two when I had the prospect of leading two to the installment. It was Boston and GDSC. That's when I got contacted to try and lead ambassadors. So, first lesson, jump in and don't be afraid of the system. Try and take some of these opportunities. There's definitely often people you beat your friends, beat your community, and we want it to be for the two to be the same. We want it to be this combination of a lot of your friends are people from the community, or a lot of your friends are people in the community, and you never have to feel alone taking those tasks at those events. So that's events at a local level, and that's events at a what's it called, global. There's profiles, I'll go in there and show you that it's really just a say nothing like that. And there's the imagine, which we're going to do. As I talked about the solution challenge, you see, there's the imagine Microsoft, and without trying to start a competition, it's like the solution challenge, but a little bigger because there's up to 135,000 US dollars in prize money. A. B, there's a specific mentorship drive where you are mentored by none other than Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella for a few months to start off your business. And C, even if you don't actually win the challenge, it's like placing up to 20th place, and all of those guys get some kind of prize or some kind of mentor from Microsoft. So this is the type of thing that changes you from being a student who never knows what you're to being someone who's going to be getting venture capitalists coming straight at you and trying to pitch money. Pretty cool. But let's again Microsoft for a second. See if we can look that up. Let me turn my phone to my students. Okay, let's jump back in. So, let me see. Let's zoom out a bit because I don't want you guys to see it as well. Let me try and put the portrait mode. I hope nothing goes wrong. You guys can still hear me? Hello guys, I don't know if you can hear me. Hello?
Okay.
Apparently it's not the same. Right. This is Microsoft Learn for Students, right? So we're building tech skills for the future. Essentially, it is a learning platform that, let me actually click browse all paths so that you can see the site as it's supposed to be. It's not loading completely yet. Let me see. Sorry?
Stop sharing.
Oh yeah, and Tanaji actually wants to share that for me. So that, yeah, so let me actually get off and he didn't show the desktop version of it. Sorry, just give me a sec. Alright, I stopped sharing. Tanaji wants to know that. Thank you, man. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so Tinashe is pretty much showing you Microsoft Learn. What is this? It's an online learning platform. Basically like Udacity, like Udemy, like multiple platforms that you guys have probably used. And its main difference is A, it's made for often beginners, all the way up to professional skill levels. B, it's made with a lot of students in mind. And C, it offers everything here completely for free, with maybe the exception of certifications. I'm thinking about this and nah, I probably shouldn't. Let me just go back to the main page and huh? Oh, you want to sign in? Okay, fine. This one or the one below. This one is this one at Gmail, right? Yeah, that's the one I was pointing at. But fine. So as we were saying, let's just sign in here. Don't want you looking at anyone's passwords. Okay, let's let it load up. Alright, here we go. So, this is Learn. And right now we're in the learning paths room. How it works is you can learn about a million different things here. Okay, just to try and give you an example, let me see here. Roles, products. So, the way it tends to be split up is it's about also you can check stuff that's about specific Microsoft products, or you can browse all paths, and that will help you develop for pretty much tons of different platforms, tons of different technologies, tons of different operating systems or devices on the world. Then there's roles. Roles here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little because you guys might not be able to read all this. Let me try and. Okay, there we go. So your roles are pretty much either IT based or, in fact, they spread out throughout the gamut. So I know there's guys from IT, there's guys from ISA, there's guys from software engineering, there's guys from computer science, and there's pretty much something for everyone, right? You've got administrators, that's more IT based. AI engineer can be software or data science based or computer science based. App maker, that's basically a developer. Auditor, this is more security and IT based again. Business user. So as I said, you can be someone who's into digital marketing, you can be someone who's an FE student, you can be someone who's not really basically all in on a complete tech career, but a career with tech in it, and there's stuff for you. Data analyst, as you already said, engineer, developer, DevOps engineer. This is always an interesting topic that I feel you guys are gonna want to know about later in future. Educator. So you can be someone who uses tech to educate people, and there's something for you. Consultant, security engineer, or just student. And student is where you'll see a lot of beginner courses that just help you out with starting out from zero. But let's try and browse a lot of the learn paths. And let me zoom out again because there's actually a lot here. Let me just try and okay. Let me see. So let's share the tab I'm on now. Okay, so a lot of we start off with stuff like Microsoft Azure. That's a cloud platform that's there for cloud computing, cloud storage, AI, machine learning. There's actually kind of a million things you can do with it, and it's really all up to you what you do. Um, but let's go from beyond Azure because I think we start off there, but let's move a few pages because this is by alphabetical order. So let's see what page 3 has. All right, now we're dealing with C Sharp. Some of you may know what this programming language is. C Sharp is very old, but very, very powerful, and has been used for a million things. We did a. We'll share the links with you. We Microsoft Student Ambassadors did a introduction to C Sharp tutorial and the .NET framework. And from there, we talked about how you can use C Sharp from everything from desktop apps to mobile apps with Xamarin to web apps with ASP.NET. And it's essentially like learning one programming language and learning just how to reapply it in different ways and creating a million different types of devices. I mean, sorry, a million different types of projects for a million different types of devices. There's Microsoft Power Apps. This is really cool. It's essentially building apps without any code. Of course, there's a give and take to that. There's some advantages, there's less advantages, but this is basically great for beginners, but also great for people who don't go all the way in on becoming a developer for multiple different languages, but you may be working in enterprise or business setup where you just need a quick mobile app that offers the same information that's maybe on your website. This helps you do that. Creating virtual machines in Microsoft Azure. We're back in Azure territory, but let's try and move again. Power BI, that's also for Power Apps and the Power Platform, but it's also for a lot of automation and machine learning things. So, for example, what I'm trying to say is it's about training a lot of AI models that are business centric. So, say your business produces, I don't know, reports at 12 p.m., right? And usually someone has to go to the office and take the file for those reports or open the file for those reports, then click the printer to do that by at least, I don't know, 1 o'clock, right? Power Platform allows you to create machine learning models that as soon as the reports are made at 12 p.m., by 1 o'clock they're printing automatically and no one had to lift a finger. Or they could print before 1 o'clock. It's really up to you. Um, there's data science. This is, let me see here. This is more general IT stuff, but file storage and sharing with Microsoft OneDrive and Microsoft SharePoint. Uh, and there's, wait, I actually missed something here. Deploy Azure by using JSON ARM templates. There's a lot of technologies involved here. So we're talking about Azure and cloud. We're talking about JSONs, which are everywhere. You can't escape them. And we're also talking about ARM processors. You may not know this, but the processors in your PCs and till recently, the processors in your PC and the processors in your phone are very, very differently. Are very, very different rather, and have very different architectures. Uh, PCs usually use x64, x86 architectures that are based on stuff that Intel and AMD tends to make. Then there's I'm sorry. Then there's oh sorry who's ATA? it doesn't matter. Thank you for getting in on that and just showing us a bit. I'm assuming it had stopped presenting here. Let me see if I can fix that. Let me say stop sharing. Thank you for helping me with that. I actually hadn't noticed. Um, does Microsoft Learn have GitHub integration? Yes, Valentine, we actually do have GitHub integration. We have a lot of GitHub integration. Okay, now I can see why. Tinashe's PC was saying it had left. I think that's changed. Let's try and share this again. Browser. Yeah, just sharing that tab. Okay, let me see. Okay, now it's sharing again. Great. So there is also GitHub. You know what? Let's actually do it this way. Let's search here. Say GitHub for a sec. Um, let me show you something here. Okay, so this is automated tasks, but even an introduction to GitHub is right here. You'll learn how to use GitHub, you'll learn what it is, you'll learn what's the point of it, you'll learn why people have been using it so much and why it has grown in usage during the pandemic. And the short answer for that, by the way, is because with people being spread out all over the world and development teams being spread out all over the world, rather than everyone having to come to the office, put the code in a specific server that belongs to the office, it's become easier to just upload it to GitHub and then take what you need to when you don't, push updates when you need to. It's become an awesome tool for people to use all over the world. We actually use it in some of our learning paths, and let's actually look at that, which is how we go through some of our learning tutorials. We use what are called learning paths, and just so you know, Microsoft Learn is going to be the fundamental thing we use for a lot of our tutorials, a lot of our learning, a lot of our introduction to multiple technologies. We're gonna go into what kind of technologies a little sooner, but yeah. So these are learning paths. Learning paths, and right now it's showing learning paths that are to do with GitHub, just so you know. They're essentially like a course, a mini course, right? You go through it, we can learn it together, or of course, since there's not always enough time, we might have a 1 hour session and you can continue with the learning path on your own, and that's totally fine because Microsoft Learn makes it as easy as possible, just so you know. And once we do that, and once we have one of those, once you complete a learning path, what's gonna happen is, let me try and show you more learning paths. So these are some Azure ones. These are Microsoft Data Analytics. This is natural language processing. That's AI based. This is let me see. This is Power Apps again, as we're talking about. There's so many, like they're crazy amount. There's C Sharp. There's also Python for stuff that for people that might think this is all about stuff that has to maybe do with Microsoft products. Oh, I wrote Python there. But once you complete a learning path, Microsoft Learn is actually going to offer you two options. You'll get a normal certificate, which is fine. You'll get a normal certificate. You can show that around. You can save it. It does matter. Or you can get a certified certificate, which are the types that you pay for and get certifications. Because in the tech industry, what's becoming very important, arguably more important than a degree sometimes, is a certification. All right, anyone can get a, okay, not anyone, but a lot of people can get a computer science degree. It's a fact. You can literally sleep through half of your 4 years and then still manage to get a degree. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're the best at a certain technology. It doesn't mean you have the most experience at dealing with something. Certifications are meant to sort of solve that, right? So it's certified certifications at the highest level of that because they're literally the equivalent of sometimes a college degree. You can go and get a certification for Java today, and you are almost the same as someone who has done 4 years of college and they maybe did 2 semesters of Java. So, and in many cases, in with companies like Google and Microsoft, if you go and look at their career pages today, they're not saying we want someone with a college degree. They'll say we want someone with 2 years experience or equivalent in Java, or someone who can show they have experience in Java. What's the quickest way to do that? through a certification, and they might take you. And a lot of the times, actually, especially now when we have this world of remote work and so on, they'll take you over the person with the college degree. But here's the good part: with Microsoft Learn, you're already a student, but you're also getting certifications. So you have the benefits of someone who's going to have a college degree and certifications. Now, the certifications on Microsoft Learn are often paid for, but a lot of the time, I would say at least 50% of the time, if you complete a certain course, usually in a certain specific time frame, they might send you an email that says, "Hey, we noticed you're doing the, let's say, yeah, build real world applications with Python." Yeah, they might say, "Hey, we've noticed you've taken like 2 or 3 Python learning paths. We're offering to give you a professional Python certification if you can finish the current path in, say, the next 2 months." And if you do that, that's it. You get a free certification. Sometimes when they're having events like Microsoft Ignite, Microsoft Inspire, which are very much about developers, oh, and Microsoft Build as well, which are very much about both A, developers, and B, sorry, developers and tech workers, they will often just offer free vouchers. If you were in the Microsoft Student Ambassadors WhatsApp group, which we do have, which we'll leave a link to for everyone to join soon after this, as well as our numbers, just in case you want to come and talk to either me or Tinashe after this in private. But yeah, I actually recently shared I believe it was, if you completed a data analytics introduction course. And I mean an introduction course. This is easy stuff. Like, not even easy by tech standards. I mean easy by, I could give this to a high school student and they would be done with it within a week. If you could do that, they were going to give you a free certification for whatever you wanted. Like whatever course you're taking, whatever, what's it called, programming language you could add, whatever it is, they were going to give you a certification for that. So there's always these types of offers coming up, and I'll be sure to throw them to you guys as much as possible. But the point of things like Microsoft Learn is jump in, okay? Check some of the stuff out. You might not have to finish a course. Just look at if you like the programming language. Just look at if you like the tool, if you can do something with it, if you can grow with it. And if you can, trust me, um, you're going to have an amazing time with it, and you're going to learn amazing things with it. And hopefully, you're going to build amazing things with it, whether on your own, whether with your friends. It really is all up to you and what you decide to do with it. I'm actually going to share the student ambassadors group link right now in the chat. So let me just make sure copy link here, and I'm gonna leave it there, and you guys can actually start checking it out or joining. Or again, I'll leave my number in there, so whoever wants to contact me or Tinashe after this, please. Doors are open. Okay, it's open to everybody. Just, hit us up. We'll totally want to talk to you guys. I'm already leaving my WhatsApp number for that, but yeah. 738. I'm sorry, I actually have to save my numbers sometimes to remember it. I know it's embarrassing, but yeah. Okay, let's see this up. So that was Microsoft Learn. Let me try and load up the Student Ambassador side again on Tinashe's side here, just for a second. And whilst I do that, let's go back to what I was talking about. The world, as I said, has changed. Okay, these companies are trying to spread out into more and more of it, and to also integrate, how can I say this, as many different people and as many diverse backgrounds as possible. Why? Simple. You can't make the best application for Africa if you didn't grow up in Africa. Okay, I'll give you an example. If I were to try and build, I don't know, an app today, I have to think about the simple fact that in Zimbabwe, not everyone has data, right?